Hello, welcome on my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to review the GeoAI QGIS plugin developed by Pixi. It's a plugin that brings GeoAI models into dockable panels in QGIS, and you can choose from different models to detect objects or segment images. To install the plugin I'm going to follow the instructions from the documentation. A link is provided in the description of this video. I start with opening a PowerShell. The next step is to install Pixi. Pixi is much easier than Conda. You cannot install the plugin without using a Conda kind of setup. So with this command I'm installing Pixi. That takes a bit. After installing Pixi, it's wise to restart your Windows PowerShell. I'll continue with the steps. Let's first check the Pixi version. It returns the correct version, so I can proceed. Now you need to make a folder where you want to install your Pixi projects. So I make a folder called Pixi projects under my user profile, and I navigate to that folder. And there I'm going to run the command to initiate the geo environment. Then I go to that environment, and there you find the pixi.toml file. And we need to edit the file with the correct configuration for installing the dependencies. So I can use Notepad to edit pixi.toml, but I need to check which of these lines I need to copy, because that depends on if you use CUDA or a normal CPU. So I'm going to check which CUDA version I have, and you can do that with this command. And when I scroll up, I can see that I have CUDA version 13. So I need to copy the text here for CUDA 13 and paste it in the TOML file, save the file and close Notepad. The next step is to install the dependencies in the environment. So I just run pixi install, and that starts fetching all the packages that I need, taking care of the dependencies. This will take a while. Not all packages in our environment have the right version, and therefore we need to upgrade the segment geospatial package using pip. We do this with the next command. After that we can verify if our environment is correctly installed by running the next command. This will give us back the version of the important packages and the GPU. And that seems to work well. In order to use SAM3, you need to have an account at Hugging Face, and you also need to activate the account, fill in some forms there, and then you can paste your token here. I don't need to do that because I'm already logged in. And then you can proceed with downloading the SAM3 model, which will also take some time. In my case it went faster because I already had downloaded the files. So now we can start QGIS from Pixi. So make sure every time you use the GeoAI plugin, you need to run QGIS from Pixi. After starting QGIS, go to the Plugins Manager and install the GeoAI plugin. Unfortunately, after some time I get this error. This is probably because it's confusing the GeoAI Python package with the GeoAI plugin. So I'm going to install the plugin in another way and see if that works. After closing QGIS, I can clone the repository with the plugin from GitHub. Now I need to open an OSGeo4W shell in order to install the packages in the correct environment for QGIS. I need to navigate to the folder of the Python script that I need to run. Go to the correct subfolder, and there I run python install.py. This installs the plugin, and now I can start QGIS from the Pixi environment. Make sure to choose the default profile, because that's where the plugin is installed by the script. There, go to the Plugins Manager, go to Installed, and check the box before GeoAI and the buttons will be added, and now it works. I'm going to download high-resolution aerial photography from a portal of the Netherlands. I have 7.5 cm resolution aerial photographs available, and I'm going to download a part of Rotterdam. I can download the most recent file and drag it into QGIS. Now let's try the plugin. I'm first going to use the Moondream model. I can load the model. To load the image, I can change here to a caption to get a description of the image. And it gives us a nice narrative text of what it found in the image. I can do a query. How many roundabouts? And it gives a narrative result 1. Let's try to detect the roundabout. And here it finds the roundabout. Changing the color, and I'm going to look for water. Here it finds water, but not all water bodies in the image are found. Now let's try the GeoSM algorithm. I'm going to load the model. The model has been successfully loaded. I'm selecting the image. Now that's also there. Then I can give a text prompt. For example, roundabout. There it found the roundabout. Can rename the results. Let's try something else. Railway. And here it finds the railway that ends in a tunnel. Let's try building. And here I got a message that I ran out of my GPU memory, unfortunately. So let's try shadow. Here it only found it in part of the image, probably also related to memory issues. Let's segment by using a box. I draw a box and I click segment by box, and there it finds similar objects. I style this with paletted unique values. You can see how well it detected the water bodies. Make the 0 transparent by removing it, and there we see the parts of the canal. Now let's try the model on a smaller area so we don't run out of memory. I'm going to export it to a zoomed in canvas extent, and I hide the other result, clear the memory of my GPU, and reload the SamGeo3 model. I'm also going to refresh the input layer list so I can load the subset and set the image from the layer. I can give a text prompt like cars, and it pretty well detects cars in the scene. We can make this clearer by using appropriate styling using the paletted unique values renderer. And remove the 0 class. And here we see the detected cars. And now we're going to look for solar panels. And I quickly found solar panels. What about the shadows? Let's check them by changing the styling again to paletted unique values and removing the 0 class. And there we see that it's not always correct, but it has most of the shadows. And what about zebra crossings? Let's check by changing the styling. And I'm going to blend it. We can better check the result. And there we see that it found many of the zebra junctions there, but also other markings on the road. Now let's see what it does with building. You can simply copy the style. That's faster. And here we see that it detected the buildings in the scene very well. Just the ones that are on the side are not detected. So this video reviewed the GeoAI QGIS plugin developed by Qisheng. The documentation was very clear on how to install the plugin, and I could easily apply the models to different objects in my aerial photographs. So this plugin has a lot of potential, and I'm looking forward to see more results coming from GeoAI.